presented by Dr. Pepper. We are here live from Pittsburgh. It has been 20 years since GameDay has made their way here, and you know exactly why we're here. A top 25 matchup, and even though it has zero conference implications, it could have some huge ones in the CFP. Notre Dame taking on Pitt. We'll talk about this matchup and everything else happening on this beautiful college football Saturday. It feels like football weather out here.
It does.
It's glorious. Harry Douglas, Christine Williamson, and Lyles Jr. Wow, guys.
Well,
what a day.
Well, hold on, Christine. I don't know if I hear them loud and clear. Pittsburgh! Hold on, Christine. Let me try one more time.
Try one more time.
I said Pittsburgh!
Yeah, y'all are ready. Y'all are ready.
They're ready.
How you feeling, Lyles? Good?
Oh. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, Pitt. Let's go, Pitt.
I do want to shout out. We have a Notre Dame guy right here in the middle of everything.
What about the Notre Dame fan that's in the front?
What
about the Notre Dame fan?
This is what. I also see a couple of people sprinkled over there. We see some green. We see you. He's smiling at us. They're waving. We love to see it. We love to see it. Okay, we start every single show. There's also a middle finger over there. We start every single show with something that we call three big things. It's three things that we're looking forward to on this college football Saturday. I will start us off with number one. We are back here for a Saturday Pitt home game for the first time since 2005, and today marks the first CFP Top 25 matchup the Panthers have ever hosted as they look to put an end to Notre Dame's 7-game win streak and knock the Irish out of the college football playoffs.
Kick them out the club! Kick them out the club!
Yeah, we'll see if that happens, HD.
Well, let me start with number two. This Pitt Panther football team coming in on a 5-game win streak, and a large part of that has to do with their offense. They're averaging almost 40 points per game. But my goodness, that freshman quarterback, Mason Angel. Oh, my goodness. That young man has been playing some unbelievable football. He's 5-0 as a starter since taking over. Yeah, Pitt is ready. They're back.
Pitt is ready, man. And the thing that I'm looking forward to, Jeremiyah Love against this Pitt defense. Pat Narduzzi, no matter where he's been in his career, has had a physical, violent defense, the type of defense today that is going to have to be able to be good enough, tough enough to stop a player like Jeremiyah Love, who's 5th in the country in rushing yards. To me, that is going to be the matchup to watch in this football game.
Okay, let's start there then. Jeremiyah Love, as you mentioned, he's been absolutely amazing. He's scored in every single game except for the first one of the season. What exactly does Pitt have to do to try to slow him down?
As soon as you get your hands on him, you got to bring him down. You cannot allow the yards after contact. And then the second layer with this linebacking core, the Sharks, right? Those Sharks. Kyle Lewis is healthy. This linebacking core is healthy. It starts with them, and that identity has spread towards the rest of the defense. That front seven is going to be so important if Pitt's going to win this football game today.
Lyles, I agree with you 1,000%. It's going to be all about that defensive line and those linebackers. Lovelace, you talk about Biles, Lewis. Yep. Those three guys combined for 159 tackles. So they're all over the place. They can get downhill. They can run sideline to sideline. But in order for Pitt to stop this run game of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, that front seven, they're going to have to be unbelievable today.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what they were saying. I couldn't understand it. Okay, let's talk about the other offense in this matchup. You mentioned Mason Heichel. He's been awesome for them this season. What do you need to see out of him in order for him to be successful today?
So sometimes when you have a freshman quarterback, those guys can be sporadic. I haven't seen that from Mason Heichel this season so far. I go back to the Syracuse game, watching that film, 3rd and 9 on the very first drive. What I loved about this play is that he had conviction. He dropped back to pass the football. It wasn't there. Decisive in his decision-making. He tucked the football. It became a 36-yard touchdown. But also, he has a plethora of weapons to throw the football to.
Oh, yeah.
And in a game like today, when you're going against a top 10 opponent, your quarterback, your receivers, your running backs, those guys have to be phenomenal. So when I'm looking at the receiver group, Kenny Johnson, you can't be ordinary today.
Nope.
Raphael Williams Jr., you can't be ordinary today.
Nope.
You have to be over the top. You have to make every single play that present themselves. So I'm looking for this Pitt team to actually have some success offensively.
But to me, HD, the most important player in this game today, who I think this crowd is probably more excited to see than College Game Day today, is Desmond Reed. The most exciting player, in my opinion, in this football game. He is the key, not just to helping Mason have a good game, but to just unlocking this offense, getting that Notre Dame defense off off their P's and Q's. I'm sort of curious from your perspective, who do you think he compares to in terms of an NFL player comp?
Man, he reminds me of a friend of mine, a guy that I played against a lot, Darren Sproles, because of the matchup nightmare that he poses to safeties that have come down in the box and try to guard him, but also linebackers. He is a spark plug. He can beat you in the pass game. And there's this place called H choice, where the running back has a choice that he can break out, break in, or take it down the field for a touchdown like we see them do a few times in his career. And being able to have that luxury of a player, especially for a young quarterback, is also awesome. So look for him to make a lot of explosive plays today and be a spark plug to the Pitt Panther offense.
Speaking of explosive, really fast, I just want to say, Pitt might be the best place that we've gone to so far this season. You guys have not quieted down since we started the show. Also, the band right over here. Y'all are lit. Y'all are lit, to say the least. I can barely hear myself. But I do want to talk about some comments that were made earlier in the week by Pat Narduzzi. He said that this wasn't a conference matchup, so they don't really go into it thinking the same way when they do when they play ACC teams. HD, as a player, how would you approach this game knowing that Coach Narduzzi said that earlier?
Well, me personally, the competitor that I am, I want to beat the hell out of everybody that I play.
Right.
I don't care if it's an ACC opponent, if it's a group of 5 team, if it's a team that's from another conference. Every single opponent that I match up against on that football field that day, I want to blast her. In so many words, I want to whoop their ass.
Just to say it bluntly, just to say it very
And I think what Coach Narduzzi was getting at, because I spoke with him about, he was trying to take pressure off the team. He understands that they want to go out and win every single game. He's a football coach, a damn good football coach.
Yeah.
He's not crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it just got away from him a little bit. But, hey, like I said, they want to kick Notre Dame out of the College Football Playoff Club today.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, because this game does have some huge implications. Speaking of, we have to get some game picks before we get off of this matchup. I want Harry Douglas to start us off. Who do you have in this matchup, HD?
Oh, wow. You know, Notre Dame in that run game, Marcus Freeman is a friend of mine. I love what he's been able to present and how he has his football team ready to play every single week. But you asked me who I'm going for this week? I'm going with the Pitt Panthers, baby. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby! I'm going with the Pitt Panthers, Christine. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. Are y'all ready today? Let's go, Pitt! 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 Let's go, Pitt!
Yeah, y'all are wild. All right, Harry Lyles, who do you have in this matchup?
Who do I have in this matchup?
Yeah.
Man, I'm not going against Pitt neither. Pitt's winning this football game. Desmond Reed, my man is healthy.
Yeah.
He is one of the toughest football players I've ever covered. He is going to be the difference in this football game. Pitt's taking it home.
Dang, I feel like I was supposed to save the graphic. We don't want to be bulletin board material. We don't want to be rat poison. But unfortunately, I'm choosing Pittsburgh as well in this matchup. I'm not going to lie.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's Pitt across the board. We'll see what happens. Obviously, that game at noon Eastern, we cannot wait for it. Let's bring on a friend of the show, Eric Lain,
Man, what's one
joining
more
us.
ball head? Bring that thing on over here.
Of ACC Network Royalty. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, my brother, you doing all right?
No,
you doing
he's
okay?
not. That's bringing us on the show. That's bringing us on the show.
What did Ed Reed say back in the day?
What did he say?
Don't ask me if I'm all right. I'm hurt. No,
That's on me. That's on me.
Okay, so I will say, EMAC, because you know, we're Clemson Tigers. Now, earlier, my Miami Hurricanes did take an L to Louisville, but I'm very glad that Clemson held it down. So you guys want to talk a little bit? What do you want to do right
Harry,
here?
my biggest thing is nobody wanted to win the game. So somebody had to, and the best 5-5 team in the country, the Clemson Tigers, they did that. So thank you for letting me have that.
But look, I would say this too, though. You know, even though I went to Louisville, EMAC went to Clemson, that game was pretty hard to watch last night.
Yeah.
But I do want to credit the Clemson Tigers for being resilient. Adam Randall, that young man had some runs last night, and that touchdown late in that ball game was huge for Clemson being able to get that win.
No question. I mean, he's a special player. And to be as selfless to do whatever it takes to win a game, right? But also selfless whatever to do for your team. I mean, this guy was a great wide receiver, decided to make that move. That was a big-time thing to show his maturity.
All I got to say is I'm glad I got my lick back. I feel like I haven't been cheering for Clemson all season. I'm not going to lie, but I'll take that dub. All right, speaking of, obviously the ACC ACC has been very interesting to watch this season, as exemplified in that matchup between Louisville and Clemson. Let's take a look at the ACC standings. There are 5 one-loss teams, including Pitt here today, and another one-loss team, Georgia Tech and Duke, control their own destinies. If they both win their remaining conference games, they'll be in the title game. But we saw last week both Virginia and Louisville losing. So 2 of those one-loss teams are playing each other today. Virginia travels to Duke. Cavaliers quarterback Chandler Morris is coming back. He got knocked out of last week's loss to Wake Forest. So EMAC, how important is he in this matchup for them?
Oh my goodness, he's massive. I mean, you talk about a guy that means everything to his team. I mean, you literally look at the last quarterbacks for Virginia. It feels like they just wheel him out there in a full body cast and say, hey, good luck, here you go. And he's a huge piece of this, the way that he runs the football, the way that he throws the football, but also his leadership. I mean, he is a big piece of that, where they feel like if he's in the game, if he's healthy, they can beat anybody. So that is instrumental today if he's able to go. And if not, I will say the one good thing, that backup has had all week to take the 1 reps. He's had all week to prepare instead of, hey, Harry, get in the game, it's your turn.
Exactly.
He's prepared better now.
And they need to keep him clean. You know, I mean, that goes such a long way. It's such a physical game. And obviously, EMAC, you and I talked about it before the show. Even before he had the injury, he was starting to get a little rattled there, a little shaky. So to keep him clean, not just for his bill of health, but for his continuity and, you know, seeing the ball go through the basket, to use a basketball term.
I would also say this. There's one thing on a football field in any sport that you can't measure. It's heart and toughness. And when I think about Chandler Morris, I think about that Louisville game. I think about that Florida State game. I think about last week, even though he went out, the toughness mentally and physically. And when you're a leader, can display that every single day, not just on the football field during games, but in practice, in the classroom, in the meeting room. You want that guy to be out there on the football field fighting for you. As Virginia, they're still active right now to make an ACC championship game and potentially go to the college football playoffs.
Well, I mean, this is what this is. This is a ACC championship game, elimination game. You want a playoff game? That's exactly what this is today.
Okay, so for Duke, because I feel like the ACC, and you obviously cover it very closely, has been very interesting this season. When we started the season, it was like, whoa, this might be one of the strongest conferences. And now we're looking at it a little bit different. Duke is 5-4, but 3 of their losses are out of conference, so they could win out and win the conference. A lot of conversation this week has been whether or not the ACC was even going to get a team in the CFP. Do you feel like if Duke wins out, it's the worst case scenario?
Well, that conversation only exists with Duke winning out. So that is code red. That is the worst. Code blue, actually. Blue's worse than red. That's the worst thing that could ever happen. Is on your side, but it's the worst thing that can happen, because I think you're right. I think an undefeated, or excuse me, a JMU team that wins out, I think a USF team that wins out would be ranked higher than a 4-loss Duke team who lost to UConn. So do I think that's going to happen? Hell nah. It's not going to happen. Georgia Tech's going to do their thing. They're going to be the pride of the conference, and I think they ultimately get to that spot.
That's Lyles' team.
Like
he loves buzzing. He just loves buzzing. It's his favorite thing. Okay, so then what do you think is actually going to happen in the ACC conference? How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, ultimately, I do think it's going to be Georgia Tech. But the question is, who is going to be that other team? Now, you look at odds, you look at favorites. Duke versus Georgia Tech has been the most favorable when you look at percentages and things that are going to happen. Duke's way ahead. I don't want to say easy. Football's not easy.
No.
But it is favorable for those guys to make that happen. I think Georgia Tech's the team, though. I think they've got a great shot against Georgia as well. And what will be fascinating, guys, if they beat Georgia, and let's say they lose to whoever in the ACC championship, I think Georgia Tech will actually still be in. I think their resume is strong enough.
I do too. And EMAC, you know what my biggest problem is with Georgia, like the way that Georgia Tech's been evaluated, that they got a lot of crap from the committee on that loss to NC State. And look, I understand we love SEC, we love Big Ten. Finley is one of the toughest places to play, not just in the ACC, but in the country.
No question.
If you haven't been there and experienced that, and you don't know that and realize how tough it is to not just go play there, play against a Dave Doran defense and a good quarterback in CJ Bailey, then maybe you just don't know college football.
Exactly. And my biggest quarrel, I agree with you. I think you're completely correct. My biggest quarrel too, brother, is they sit here and say that the chairman of this thing, who's, by the way, not there anymore, is sit here and he's saying, well, they got whipped on both sides of the ball. Did you watch the game?
I know.
Haynes King had 500 yards.
Like what are we talking about?
500 100 yards by himself. What the heck are we talking about?
But see, that's another thing. If the scenario happens, right, and Georgia Tech loses the ACC championship game, but they beat Georgia, I think what also helps Georgia Tech is the simple fact that Haynes King is a Heisman candidate.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, being able to have that star power to back any decision that they may make if they want to put Georgia Tech in, I think that it doesn't hurt to have a player that's a Heisman candidate.
I agree.
That just blows my mind, though. Like legitimately, like that to me was not a bad loss. Like, I understand NC State is not one of the better teams in the country, but they're going to make you work for that.
And Texas got whipped by Florida, and we don't seem to care about that. It's so bizarre.
That does not sit right with me.
Okay, well, when you think about the ACC, I mentioned it earlier. There's always 3 teams that are usually at the top of the ACC: Clemson, Miami, Florida State. Those teams are expected to play really well, and when those teams take losses that people think they shouldn't take, then I feel like the ACC somewhat loses credibility. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I do, and it is unfortunate that you have these massive brands, and even you look at Clemson that had everything coming back, and the world expected them to be the #1 team in the country to play or win a national championship, and they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Florida State, they're coming off a horrific year last year, but they beat Bama. My God, they hammered Bama, dominated them, and then, of course, with Miami thumping these guys in Notre Dame in the opening game. So there was juice. There was this excitement, and then it fell flat. And I think it is the unfortunate part that this league is very deep. The coaches, the players, and specifically the quarterbacks that are in the ACC are fantastic. And listen, there's another wave of opportunity coming. Florida State plays Florida. Georgia Tech plays Georgia. Louisville plays Kentucky, which for whatever reason, people beat Kentucky. They're getting all this credit for. So there is that opportunity for the ACC to take that step and to show off a little bit why they are so deep.
Well, I'm going to play the blame game, and this is my only opportunity because I'm so hurt about last night. I blame Clemson and I blame Miami.
It's our fault. It's all
Damn
of
it,
our
if y'all
fault.
just would have been good this season. Miami, if you don't lose to Louisville, if you don't lose to SMU, if you don't lose one of those football games, Miami is sitting in a prime position to still be one of those teams that they're talking about coming out to the ACC and representing.
Well, it's the same thing that happened last season. We took 2 stupid losses, Georgia Tech and Syracuse. We shouldn't have lost those games. So what do you think, Lyles?
I still just think, and because you mentioned the depth of the conference, like I did Wake Forest, NC State earlier this year. Like Wake Forest, like when they're on their stuff, like that's a good team too. Like I don't like how we do this very broad, this conference good, that conference bad. I cover too much football, see too many teams, study them in depth, understand the trials and tribulations that they go through in a season to understand why did they lose this game? Why did they win that game? To just do this very broad thing about like, yes, like this conference good, that conference bad. I hate that.
I'm going to take it a step further. I don't like when you ignore certain losses from bigger brands, but then bring it up when it comes to smaller schools. Don't tell me a team from the SEC, you're going to ignore a certain loss that they had, but then bring up a certain loss from a team from the ACC when it comes to decision-making time.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like if it was the SEC and a team like Miami were to take 2 losses they weren't supposed to take, they would still be mentioned in the CFP conversation.
Look at Texas.
Exactly.
Look at Oklahoma.
Alabama.
It's
exactly. Notre Dame is still in the conversation as well.
I like this. This is fun that we're going to do.
We love the ACC. Anyways, EMAC, thank you. Let's get a prediction for this matchup. Who do you have in this one?
Listen, I think everything that you guys said earlier is spot on. I think Desmond Reed has the opportunity to be a game breaker. Love the option routes that you were bringing up there. He's so good at that. I also think this Pitt defense has a big opportunity here to shut them down. They're healthy. All those linebackers led by the Pitt Shark, I like to call him there. It's going to be a big deal. I think they slow it down. Give me Pitt in a close one. They get it done. They get it done.
We love it. These fans are really great too.
Yes.
All right,
thanks for having me, guys.
So good seeing you.
I gotta go do a show. Love
Bye.
you. Love
Have
you, bro.
fun.
See y'all. Appreciate it.
See you later. All right, guys. Time now for Get More Game Day, presented by Geico. And as I mentioned, these fans out here are lit. Jess Sims is standing by with some of them.
Good morning. I'm right behind you. See, that was cute. Okay, girl. Hey, Christine. Hi, Harry's. Okay, guys. I'm surrounded by a lot of great fans, a lot of great signs. We see a lot of H2P, hail to Pitt, hail to all that. This is Anthony. Anthony, what time did you get here this morning?
10 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, excuse me, 10 p.m. yesterday. He went to the same high school as Pat McAfee, so I think this makes a lot of sense. And what sport did you play?
I play baseball.
I think Pat's going to be giving away a lot of money today. We got, all right, even my dog got, wait, I have 2 pit bulls. I have 2 pit bulls.
Really?
Yes, okay, I like this sign. This is good. Aaron Donald, okay, Rudy, this is, wow. I really like all the stats. That looks nice. We got, okay, yep, the fat heads, we got this. winner right here. We got Hail to Plank. See, I love this so much. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Sheila.
Hi, Sheila?
Yes.
So nice to meet you. What time did you get here to be able to be in this front spot?
We got here at 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning. But you don't even have a coat on. How have you stayed warm?
Oh, this is perfect Pittsburgh football weather. This is, although I will say we did a couple planks in.
Oh, I was going to say, did the planks keep you warm?
Oh, yeah.
What was the last class you took?
Actually, it was your run. Yeah, it was your run last week.
I love this so much, and we got Jess. This is my Saturday 60. So are you born and raised in Pittsburgh?
Born and bred, yes.
So what is your favorite thing about this town? Because this is a football town. As you just mentioned, you're like, I don't even need a coat. This is what I do here.
Right, it is so much fun. We are dedicated to our sports and our passion for it, and I just love to be here.
Did you go to Pitt?
I did.
I mean, this is Pitt 2 and through. Okay, so if you were in the locker room today and you were giving them a hype-up pep talk, what would you say to these guys?
We don't have to, but we get to.
I mean, none of this was planned. That was absolutely amazing. Wow. Wow. You said what?
I know you well.
You know me very well. Wait, what are your names? Oh my gosh, the curls.
I'm Jen.
Jen.
Amy.
Amy. Oh my gosh, this is now turning into my show, but there's so much more coming up on Countdown and also on College Game Day. And there's actually also another double-ranked matchup coming up your way, Texas and Georgia. So let's take a look at what those players are saying about the big showdown later today.
The Dogs' day, surviving and advancing again.
Our fans, they embrace it. It's one they've been waiting on a long time.
They're 51-2 in their last 53 home games.
Georgia is doing a great job of running a pro-style offense.
The head of the snake is their quarterback. Gunner's a very good player. He's a playmaker. He does what it takes to win.
He's getting completions when they're there. He's providing explosive plays with his arm.
And the biggest key to winning this game will be no explosive plays by the quarterback or the running backs.
They have some really good playmakers. You got to bring a great game.
Manning comes out slinging, and a Texas touchdown.
They have a good explosive offense, obviously with March Madness at quarterback.
He's electric, excited, he commands respect.
They're good at a lot of things. They got good athletes, they're well coached.
It's going to be a physical game. It's just going to be a matter of who executes better.
So we just got to go in there, play our game, come out of Athens with the W.
All right, time now for Fansville Advantage, presented by Dr. Pepper. There are currently 6 SEC teams in contention for the playoff, but we wanted to break down who we trust the most. So for that, we have, this is beautiful, every single player, coach, et cetera, we have given them a dollar amount. You see it there at the end there, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys are going to build your perfect team that you would trust the mostest, all right?
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Sir?
I'll go first.
I like you guys with these pointers. This is very, they've been sword fighting.
Yeah.
They're
guard.
All right, so to start off my team, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't actually have a chance in college football at any level, high school, college, the NFL. So I'm going to spend 5 of my dollars on the best quarterback that's in the conference right now, in the SEC. I'm going with Ty Simpson.
Okay.
Now, to go along with Ty Simpson, I like continuity. I like for, chemistry to be there. So I'm going to spend another $5.
Oh, wow.
5 plus 5, for those of you who aren't great at math,
Me.
that equals 10.
$15.
So I'm going with the Alabama wide receiver group. I'm going with the Alabama quarterback.
Okay.
Now, along with those two, I'm going to take $1. I'm going to spend it on the running back room here at Texas, and here's why. Has Ty Simpson had a great running game this season? Nope. So my quarterback doesn't need one.
Yep.
My wide receivers are good. They're going to hold it down and handle that. So I have a quarterback from Alabama. I have the running back room from Texas.
Okay.
I have the wide receiver group from Alabama.
That's $11.
Now, when I look at defense and special teams, I don't know why in the hell the Texas Longhorns are down here at $2, but I'm going to choose them. They have playmakers at every single level on defense. Defensive line, you look at Colin Simmons, and then Anthony Hill Jr., and then Michael Taft in the secondary. So I'm going to take the Texas defense.
Like
and then last but not least, I'm going to take Steve Sarkisian. Why?
Oh, wow.
Why?
I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the country.
One of the best coaches in the country.
Oh, I thought you had like a specific reason.
Nah, I mean, that's the only reason you need.
How much is that? How much is that for me right now?
That was $14. Oh, no, sorry, that's 15. That's 15.
$15.
Good job. He spent all 15 of his dollars.
To be honest, I actually had a different coach, but as I looked on here, something changed on me. So I had to switch my coach around. I was going to choose Caleb DeBoer.
Okay.
Interesting.
Right.
So, wait, did you just go all?
Because I think you have $1 to spare, actually, now I think about it.
So he's going to spend it on NIL.
So if I do have $1 to spare, I'm taking Kalen DeBoer.
No, just kidding.
No, you save it for NIL. You need it.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's what I was going to try to do.
I do need it for NIL.
That's what I was going to try to do. Did you just go all Texas and Alabama?
He did.
And by the way, did you notice my boy AT3? By the way, my brother played wide receiver, not just in college, in the NFL. He spent $5 on them receivers. My man needs his cheddar.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All right. So here's. I like your thought process. Because we talked about before the show, it's like, all right, we're going to do some give and take. So in my give is going to be a quarterback. I'm going with Gunnar Stockton. Wow. Okay? Because I'm going to take Ole Miss's running game. I need Kejuan Lacey, who's been an absolute dog for this offense. And then I'm surprised you didn't take the A&M receivers with Mario Craver and KC Concepcion.
So almost did.
So to me, you give a little quarterback, which, like, to be quite honest, I don't feel like I'm giving up a whole lot with Gunnar Stockton because he's been one of the very worst, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the SEC. So I'm going to go a little less at quarterback if that means that I can get these two, and I'm still going to have my explosive offense. They're going to be able to handle that. Defense, special teams, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles right here. That's not a mistake. I understand that. Look, I really feel like you can't go wrong with any of these. Because this one's coached by Mike Elko, HD. You mentioned all the NFL players on this one. NFL, Brent Venables. But I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Georgia Bulldogs here. And then I'm like you. I was going Kalen DeBoer, but I'm going to go with Steve Sarkisian so I can have $1 on NIL.
But guess what? I'm going to make the change.
Save the $1.
I'm going to make the change, and here's why. I'm going to change my coach from Steve Sarkisian to Kalen DeBoer because I'm all about continuity. Right?
100%.
I want Kalen DeBoer. I want Alabama wide receivers.
Okay.
And I also want the Alabama quarterback. So I have 3 things that are in sync together right now in college football.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why Alabama's ranked 4th in the country right now. And then defensively, I'm going to take Texas. And in running back room, I'm going to take Texas as well.
And so that's why on my give and take, I was like, hey, give me one of the air quotes lesser quarterbacks, because you really couldn't even go wrong with Arch at this point. If you had me pick Arch in August, I'd be like, ugh. I don't know about that. But that's why, again.
All right, so these are our teams.
So he is brought up by not just Coach Kalen DeBoer, but he's also brought up by my core here. And then again, I got NFL dogs.
Okay, I feel like this is a dumb question because obviously you guys chose the teams. But if these teams were to go head-to-head, who do you think would win?
Man, quit playing.
I have faith. This is the most improved player in college football this entire season.
Right.
Ty Simpson. So I have faith in Ty Simpson going against this Georgia defense in which he already carved up this season in Athens between the hedges. So I know for a fact that we're going to score points. I also
100%.
believe in my Texas defense versus this Georgia offense and this quarterback right here who are going to face this weekend.
So my only counter argument, and I'm just going to do this because it is the month of November. This looks like my Thanksgiving plate as a child. There's turkey and mashed potatoes on it. You need turkey, collard greens.
I was going to say, this looks a little
mashed
bit more.
Potatoes, sweet potatoes, and some dessert, man. So I think my variety is going to serve me well.
He got the veggies on this plate.
It's vast.
More doesn't mean better. I'm sticking with less.
Yeah, but I got motion in my ocean
so
too.
I don't become stressed. I'm sticking with less.
You gotta have the variety, man. I love my weapons, love my quarterback, love my head coach.
But I do want to highlight this wide receiver room at Texas A&M right now.
Yeah.
Mario Craver, KC Concepcion, those 2 guys, they have made a major impact and a big difference on their football team this season. And also, it's a major reason for Marcel Reed and his ascension.
All right, let's talk about some matchups. These are really good. I like that Thanksgiving analogy because you do look like you just got meat and potatoes. But, I mean, people like to get nice and hefty off of those things. Okay, let's take a look at some games we have in the SEC. We've got a big SEC, ABC doubleheader this afternoon. 2 bubble teams have a chance to get big wins on the road against the higher-ranked team. First, Oklahoma travels to Tuscaloosa to try to take down the Tide. Then Texas has the Bulldogs in Athens, Georgia. All right, let's start with that Texas-Georgia game. Arch Manning and Gunnar Stockton have looked pretty good so far. Lately, you know. AC, which quarterback are you giving the edge to in this matchup?
Well, if you're talking about quarterbacks and who I'm giving the edge to, it's going to be Gunnar Stockton. One of the things that I praise him about this season, he has not hurt this football team. Look at this, 15 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. He's really taking care of the football. But this is why I love being on the field watching games. Watching that game versus Ole Miss and also watching that game versus Tennessee, you got to see up close They had multiple times where they were trying to take shots down the field. What Gunnar Stockton didn't do, he didn't force the issue.
Yep.
He tucked the football, he ran, he utilized his legs. We all know he's an extension of the run game, but he also threw the football to his checkdowns. So give me a quarterback that I know 1,000% is not going to be sporadic.
Yep.
And in certain moments, you can utilize his legs and get it to the end zone. I think he has over 6 touchdowns this season, so I'm taking Gunnar Stockton.
Now, I will say this, though, about what Texas has done specifically in the last couple of weeks. They have simplified everything for Arch. Yes, he has been better, but Sark said, hey, we're going to keep everything underneath. We're going to get you a lot of passes on the perimeter. Our guys are going to block for you, and we're going to watch the results reap themselves. And to me, I think that has allowed Arch to find success and to see the ball go through the basket in that type of way. So I think that is going to be important, especially as you go against this Georgia defense.
But I also have to give a lot of credit to Steve Sarkisian for doing that, because as a head coach, you have to self-reflect and also say, hey, I need to thumb things down a little bit for my quarterback. Instead of trying to take all these deep shots, our offensive line is not what it was last season.
Yeah.
And they're giving up a few pressures. So let me allow Arch to dink and dunk, get the football into the playmakers' hands, and allow those guys to do the hard work.
I was just distracted by a sign, but we'll talk about it at the end of the show. Let's talk a little bit more about this matchup. Georgia has started their games a little slow. If Texas jumps out to an early lead, how do they stay in the game and not let Georgia take over towards the end?
Avoid the things that the other teams that have blown the leads have not been able to avoid. You can't turn the football over. You can't get behind the sticks. You got to continue to play defense, continue to tackle well. A lot of teams, as the game wears on, HD, you know this, you get tired, right? You start diving at a guy not really using good form. So again, tackle, don't turn the football over, which again, I don't think Texas is really going to have that issue as long as they continue to play offense the way that they've been doing it, by playing not necessarily safe football, right, but keeping everything short, everything in front of you, a lot of low-risk plays for Arch. So to me, I think if Texas gets a lead, it would be harder to see them relinquishing it. Whereas, I think of the Auburn game, HD, that you and I watched, it was like you kind of felt the train coming down the tracks that they were going to lose that lead, and obviously they did.
And I'll add to this, and this will be my last point. When you look at Georgia this season, they've done it quite frequently. Like, you don't want to do it if you're Kirby Smart, but you've done it against quality opponents. You started slow against Tennessee, Ole Miss, Auburn. You started slow last week versus Mississippi State, and you still found a way to win. That's what I love about this football team, the resiliency and how they never give up. Early adversity, don't let the highs get too high, don't let the lows get too low. Stay even keel, and that's what the Georgia Bulldogs have done so far this season.
Okay, let's talk quickly about the Oklahoma-Alabama game. Oklahoma is coming off of a bye week. They've had 2 weeks now to prepare for this game. Their quarterback, John Mateer, hasn't looked like himself after he got that thumb injury. But HD, why could his legs decide today's game?
Because it opens everything up amongst their offense. We seen it last week, or the last game that they actually played. John Mateer, when he's rushing the football effectively, because he is the best runner that they have, the pass game opens up that much more. The run game starts to excel as well. So for John Mateer, his legs are going to be a major part in them trying to win this ball game today versus Alabama. And I feel like this is desperation mode for Oklahoma. You lose this ball game today versus Bama, you're out of the college football playoff hunt. You don't have a chance to get in. So they're going to be playing with a bit of desperation. I'm looking forward to that defense of Oklahoma to have a say as well versus the best quarterback in that conference. But John Mateer, if you want a chance to win, you have to run with the football utilizing your legs.
Quite the task, and I know I bring this up every single week, but I just cannot get over the fact that they risked John Mateer's health in the Red River rivalry, because now you're asking him to be Superman against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Like, what are we talking about, man? I understand Oklahoma's run game outside of him has been better the last couple of weeks, but still, like, he has been put in a position that should never have been the case, and it's just frustrating because he played such damn good football at the beginning of the season.
He was the Heisman frontrunner.
Yes, he was.
Without question.
Another team that hasn't looked the same since the beginning of the season, which is actually a good thing, is Alabama, because they took that first loss, and then they've absolutely dominated since then. So, Lyles, what has impressed you the most about what Alabama has been able to do and turn things around?
Christine, I could not hear a lick of what you just said.
I can tell by your face. HC, what has impressed you about what Alabama has been able to do?
I think the quarterback, Todd Simpson, he is the sole reason that they're in this position right now. But also head coach Kalen DeBoer. A lot of noise coming into this season that he was going to be on the hot seat if Alabama didn't make the college football playoffs. If there was not success in the SEC. He's weathered that storm. Todd Simpson, his growth from a season ago to now, unbelievable.
The most amazing thing about Alabama this season is how we talked about them from week 1 to week 3
it's
to
crazy.
now.
Yeah.
It is not even the same, like universe. It's not the same season. It's not the same plane of the universe. It's not the same at all.
Right.
It's been incredible to watch. I think they are going to ultimately come out with a victory today.
All right, we'll see what happens. We got a lot of good football today.
Yes.
I'm very excited about it. It's also a beautiful day out here in Pittsburgh. What a backdrop it has been for us. I feel like maybe top 2, not 2.
It's up there.
Locations? Yeah,
it's
for
up there.
sure. It's been a lot of fun. We will be back next week. Thank you for watching Countdown to College Game Day presented by Dr. Pepper. Have fun on this college football Saturday.
Let's go, Pitt!